The headquarters of Harrison Technologies was one of the most successful companies in the city. Hundreds of employees worked there, and everyone dreamed of meeting the company's young CEO, Alexander Harrison. He was rich, intelligent, and respected, but he had a question that had been bothering him for a long time. Did people in his company truly respect others, or did they only respect power and money? To find the answer, Alexander created a secret plan. He dressed in old clothes, wore simple glasses, and introduced himself as a temporary janitor named Alex. Only the head of human resources knew his secret. On Monday morning, he entered the building carrying a mop and a bucket. Nobody recognized him. Several employees walked past him without even looking at him. One manager handed him an empty coffee cup and said, "Throw this away." Another employee accidentally dropped some papers and pointed at the floor. "Clean that up," he ordered. Alexander quietly did his work and watched everyone's behavior. During lunchtime, he entered the cafeteria carrying a simple meal. Every table was occupied. Just when he was about to leave, he heard a soft voice. "Sir, you can sit here." He turned around and saw a young trainee girl smiling at him. She wore a trainee badge that read Emma Parker. "Thank you," he said and sat down. "I'm Emma," she said cheerfully. "I'm Alex," he replied. She asked him how his day was going and thanked him for helping keep the office clean. Alexander smiled because she was the first person to speak to him kindly. The next morning, Emma saw him cleaning near the reception desk. "Good morning, Mr. Alex," she said with a smile. "Good morning," he replied. She noticed that he looked tired. "Did you have breakfast?" she asked. He shook his head. Without hesitation, she opened her bag and gave him a sandwich. "Please have this," she said. Alexander looked surprised. "But this is your lunch." Emma smiled. "My mother always says that nobody should work on an empty stomach." He accepted the sandwich and thanked her. Later that day, a few employees noticed Emma talking to the janitor. One woman laughed. "Why are you wasting your time with him? He's just a cleaner." Emma looked at her and said calmly, "He works here too." The woman rolled her eyes and walked away. Alexander heard every word. As the week continued, he observed many things. Employees greeted executives with big smiles but ignored security guards and cleaners. Some people threw trash on the floor without caring who would pick it up. Others became impatient and rude when speaking to support staff. But Emma remained different. She greeted everyone, thanked the cafeteria workers, held doors open for people, and treated everyone with kindness. On Friday morning, all employees were called to the main conference hall. Everyone was excited because the CEO himself was coming to address the company. The employees sat in neat rows, adjusting their ties and fixing their hair. Suddenly the doors opened. The janitor walked inside. People looked confused. Then Alexander removed his glasses and smiled. "Good morning," he said. "I am Alexander Harrison." The room became completely silent. Several employees stared at him in shock. The manager who had shouted at him turned pale. Alexander stepped onto the stage. "For 1 week, I worked among you as a janitor because I wanted to understand something important. I wanted to see how people in this company treat those who seem to have no power." Nobody spoke. "I discovered that many people here are polite only when they believe someone is important. They respect titles instead of people." Several employees lowered their heads. Then Alexander smiled. "However, I also found someone extraordinary." He looked directly at Emma. "Miss Emma Parker, would you please come to the stage?" Emma looked completely surprised. Nervously, she walked to the front. Alexander turned toward everyone. "This young trainee greeted me every day. She shared her lunch with me. She thanked me for my work. Most importantly, she treated me like a human being." Emma's eyes filled with tears. "I only did what anyone should do," she said softly. Alexander nodded. "Exactly. Kindness should be normal, but unfortunately it has become rare." He looked at the employees again. "Skills can be taught. Experience can be gained. But character comes from the heart." Then he turned back toward Emma and smiled warmly. "Miss Parker, effective immediately, I would like to offer you a permanent position in this company and personally mentor your career." Emma covered her mouth in surprise. Tears rolled down her cheeks. The entire hall burst into applause. Many employees looked ashamed of how they had behaved during the week. As the applause continued, Alexander realized that his experiment had answered his question. True character is revealed not by the way people treat the powerful but by the way they treat those who can offer nothing in return, and among hundreds of employees, only one trainee girl had remembered the simple value of kindness.